We buried my brother-in-law 2 days ago.
I'm sorry for your loss. What a terrible accident.
This isn't that simple.
All right. Well, I am Grant from Screen Rant. It is great to get to chat with you both for Killer Heat. I watched it yesterday, and it's just quite the captivating mystery thriller. I loved all of it. Joseph, I'd like to start with you. Last we spoke, I mentioned how big of a Rian Johnson fan I was, and I can't help but obviously have flashbacks to Brick with this, between private detective, narration, all that. What was it like, though, stepping back not only into the roles of a private detective, but also finding, this very unique version of a private detective in Nick Colley?
Yeah, I love that you compared it to Brick. I had Brick flashbacks the whole time, too, because, doing Brick, the conceit was, well, here's this high school kid who's behaving like a grown-up detective. So it felt appropriate to finally come full circle and now play the actual grown-up detective now that I am a grown man. Brick is, subverts the genre in so many ways. That's a bizarre masterpiece of a little indie movie. And this one, I think, more just plays it straight. It does the thing that murder mysteries have done for 100 years or more, and just kind of hits those targets, but then takes it out of the shadowy urban landscape and puts it in a beautiful Greek island. And so it just makes it something I think real easy and fun to watch.
I couldn't agree more. And Shailene, I'll turn back to you because, like Joseph just mentioned, this genre obviously goes back a long ways, and Penelope almost feels both like she fills the femme fatale role that is often seen in these stories, but also has a lot more depth and compassion than we often see from these types of characters. What is it like really getting to explore those layers and bring them to life for this film?
It's really fun. I think there's so many ways to bring a femme fatale to life. And I think there's leaning really deep into sort of the sexuality of someone, or really leaning into the sensuality of someone. And for me with Penelope, she kind of neither of those choices felt like the right choice for her. It was somewhere in the middle, with a lot of guard and a lot of fear, but that manifested in a strength that I haven't really seen a lot of. And so it was fun to play with her femininity, but also, like you mentioned, keep it grounded and keep it guarded. And I thought that would add something interesting to her, this really deep sense of vulnerability underneath the shield that she presented.
It certainly also led to some great twists and turns throughout this story as we learn more about her and sort of her involvement with this family. But I did also want to ask, this is a reunion for you two since Snowden, and your chemistry as, these two people who are on guard with one another, but are also friendly with one another. Just it really pops off the screen. Did you find that past experience working with each other really helped you both to sort of find that rhythm?
Oh yeah, 100%. I remember when as soon as we started talking, it'd been a few years since we'd spoken. To me, it's a sign of a good friend when you can just kind of fall back in with somebody and it feels like no time has passed. And that's how it was with us. And yeah, having that comfort and trust. She's also just really good at what she does.
As is he.
Yeah, well,
really, really good.
Yeah, it just made the scenes fun to do.
And for you, Shailene, was it the same way?
Absolutely. Look, when you're lucky enough to actually have and feel a friendship with someone outside of just what you're doing at work, and to feel comfortable with them, obviously it's going to lead to a different type of chemistry and a different type, because there's true comfort and there's a human connection, and that's not required with what we do, but it certainly makes our job a lot easier and more fun. And I think, I was just excited to be able to explore a totally different tone with Joe than we got to do on Snowden. And because of the nature of making a film about Edward Snowden with Oliver Stone as the director and the weight of it, this film was the complete opposite. This film was light and fun and playful, and did have sort of these exciting opportunities to create different rhythms that we weren't able to play with before. And that's one of my favorite parts of acting, is just kind of going up, showing up and seeing what happens. And it was a joy to be able to do that with Joe.
Well, I can't wait for when audiences show up and get to see what you do in this film, because like I said, I love it so much. I think it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of great characters and story, and people are going to love it. So I see I'm out of time. I'll get on out of here. Thank you guys so much, though, for taking the time. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Great talking to you.
For some people, jealousy is a lot like love. Maybe that's just how I see it.